Hi and hello. Um, I don't know how long this video is going to come out. Um, Considering myself maybe long, but I really don't want it to be that long. Well, I started these videos with the intent of reaching out to the largest amount of people I could reach. That's why I chose to do these videos in English. And though I'm Brazilian, and Brazil as like YouTube market, it is a very big market. But there are mixed things into that. There is the fact that I do speak English. I make myself comprehensible, I think. In English, I can manage my thoughts and express them in English, not as well as I can in Portuguese, but it's pretty close. And I really give a shit to using English as a mean to, like put into my CV and try to get jobs. I respect and I understand the people that put effort into that, and really it's a good thing to do. Here in Brazil we have English at college. That wasn't the way I really learned English. It was by living in the US while I was a kid. So I grew up in for like 3.5 years in Los Angeles. Because my father's job, and I went there. We went there, me, my mother, and him, when I was maybe 4, and then we came back like 3 years later, and we spent 6 months in Brazil, and then went back for another 6 months. I remember that when we finally came back to stay back in Brazil, I was around 8. And there's a quite funny thing about that, because when I left, I will go back to my point in just a second. Not a second, really. You understand me, right? When I moved back from my family, right? I was just a kid. When we moved back, what I'm saying is not like, oh, me, little kid, oh, I'm moving back to Brazil. Of course not. When my family decided to move back because my father's job decided it was enough time for him to live abroad. So when that got decided that we were coming back, I was on 2nd grade in American school. 2nd grade. And when I came back, what happened was that I couldn't join second grade here in Brazil. And the reason was that I don't know how, I don't know why, my parents, they didn't stop to think that as I was getting educated in English, I should have been getting the same education in Portuguese, right? As I was learning to read and write, and learning math, the numbers, and all things. So I got like first into any alphabet, any understanding of an alphabet and managing a language in English and not in Portuguese. In Portuguese, I was, of course, like a fluent speaker for my age. We spoke Portuguese at home. So at home, I was speaking Portuguese with my parents, and at school, at other places, even, like when my mother went to the supermarket, I was the one that was solving things out when she couldn't understand everything really. And so I don't blame them. I never took this in a bad way. It's just a fun fact from my life that I carry, and it's really okay. I just got into explaining how it went for me in my life, and that's interesting because language is a big thing for me. If you watched any previous video, in some of them I stressed the fact that I call myself a writer. I want to be I want to write to have a published book, more than one. I would really want to have a life paid, like my survival, my physical, material life, to get paid by my writing, but that's not a life available for me right now or anytime. So yeah, I do Uber instead, and that goes back why I started talking about the English thing. My life happened in that way, that English came into my life as a circumstance in which I was, and I learned how to speak first, and even like when we came back to Brazil. So my parents tried to put me in a school, and my father was expecting that I could go to second grade, and then no, she can't. She can't, she doesn't know how to read the alphabet. So people would show me the alphabet, and I would go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and they would show the numbers. And yeah, maybe I knew how to say them in Portuguese, but my first I guess my first response was to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that was when my father realized that, oops, we kind of messed up. So we went to a psychologist, and what happened was that I got to preschool. So I was at second grade when I was in America, and then I came back to my country and needed to go back to preschool to learn from the beginning. I'm short, I'm not tall, so that was the one and only time, I guess, I was the taller person in my class at preschool and first grade, I think, here in Brazil. And it was kind of fun for me. I really didn't take this in a bad way. Not for a moment. Never ever this was an issue. I'm just letting you know, and even like elaborating again to myself. It was the way my story went, and it's fine. But that was the way that I got to learn English, and why it was so in the root of my brain. And I as I grew up, I continued getting exposed to English, because that's what happens in countries all around the world. Like, we are exposed to American culture, like in movies, music, entertainment. I mean, like Western civilization. And so English just stayed. And in Brazil, it's like you learn English because it's going to be good for you in the future. You will be able to find better jobs. You can be like, really, English is the basics in a certain extract of the population that gets to go to university and get a degree and go find a good job. And Brazil is a very unequal country. There's I'm no, you're sure there's a lot of inequality, and it's maddening, it's sad. So very few people, considering, like the absolute number of Brazilians in this country, it's like a few amount of people that get to the point of getting a degree and all that. And in that extract of people, which is this extract that in which I belong, because I did get a degree in journalism and stuff. English is like you have to, like, it's a must have, you know. And also some other language if you can. Spanish, I guess, is the other one most studied, or yeah, I would say that, yeah, English and Spanish. But English first. And you know, but I never thought of English really like in an utilitarian way, you know, something, a skill that I can use in order to make more money, to get a better paycheck. It's in another area of my brain, like, and it's like my whole personality is doesn't really fit in this society. So that was why in the beginning, minutes and minutes ago, I said I don't give a shit to, you know, being able to speak English and matching that with a job. Of course, if it wasn't a problem for me, it would be really good. But in fact, it's kind of a problem. And that's why I do Uber, because I have a big time problem with the society I happened to live in. And it's not in my power to change, you know, like society as an individual. I cannot say, hey, I can in a way, like if I go to a cave or to a mountain and, you know, live a life of get out of society and try to live, which I think I would probably die, because how do I do that? We don't learn how to live. If not, you know, like into this structure we are in this time, and in this time of history, and, you know, and the history being on economics, you know, like our means of production, and it's capitalism, and capitalism by now, you know, globalized and around finance, banking, all that stuff. And yeah, so my very little way of kind of rebellion was to say, and I'm figuring out stuff, a lot of stuff, since my parents passed away. And if you are watching, you may know I'm figuring out how to take care of myself. I really used to rely a lot on my parents, both emotionally and financially. But I got to an understanding that was like, I'm not putting, like my best abilities to the capital. I think I may sound naive, but I don't care. I may sound naive. And I decided that I was not going to, trade money for being a journalist and speaking another language, whatever reason I would use it in a job. I will let, this part of myself, I will use it in the way I desire. Making money or not. So there's part of the explanation of, yeah, I speak English, so if I am to become someone that can make money on, using my expressing myself in this way in English, may it be by YouTube. I'm not in other social medias, so may it be that way. I also was inspired by other channels of people that express their ideas, their thoughts, that rant about many subjects on society, on the global economy, on whatever they want to, everyday life, the state of the world, and also, like venting a lot. I think in every video that I made, after I finished, I was feeling better than before, because in a way it's doing this is helps to also elaborate one's thought, even if the thoughts are, bubbling thoughts, and super rambling thoughts and drunken thoughts in a way. And well, yeah, I got also inspired by some channels, and I just watched I was just having a meal with some guaraná, which is a soda from Brazil. It's really good. It's from the fruit guaraná that comes from Amazonia, and well, yeah, guaraná. And so I was having some guaraná and eating dinner and watching the channel of this Japanese man, 50 years old Japanese man in a middle-age crisis. And he was talking about his relationship with his wife. He's married now for 14 years. He has 2 kids, a boy and a girl with her. So they have 2 children, and his YouTube got this channel of his. I just learned that he has also other channels. He has been doing content for YouTube for a long time now. He had other channels, and he also started to learn about TikTok, and I'm sure actually he also is there on TikTok with some content. And well, it did happen that this channel of his, I'll leave it linked here on the description, and for me it's kind of a very, very successful YouTube channel. He has more than 100k, going to 200k subscribers, and it's like a diary. He rants and vents a lot, and also eats while venting. He's an interesting guy to be in company with, if you know what I mean. When you are watching somebody's YouTube channel, and it's almost like it's your friend. And well, he was talking about how his wife is not really happy. She needed a break. She was outside, she left, like big quotes, because she was like for about only 6 hours without getting in contact. She left the house and was not taking his phone calls and anything. She just said, I need a break, and got out of home and came back hours later. And he was telling his audience that they had a conversation. Well, good, right? They definitely needed to talk. And the YouTube channel, which is not like a big surprise, right, is one of the reasons she had like she needed a break. And she told him that he of course, we don't know how he actually is during, like the hours that he's not, filming, and how he behaves. But it seems like he's all the time watching to the smartphone and checking his YouTube account, like YouTube Studio, and seeing how his videos are doing. And I can relate to the part in which he says he's been trying to make videos for YouTube like for so many years, and now he has like a successful channel. And So it's something that he achieved and may make him, you know, like feel, wow, I achieved something here, this is working, while also he is monetized, and so he's making also money to support his family from YouTube too. But the thing is that it's taking quality of his time from his family, and apparently he wasn't really aware of that. And I don't know what he is going to do next. But in the comments, there are a lot of people saying, hey, dude, bro, you know, most important thing is your family, not any YouTube channel and all these comments, which I agree, of course, I agree. His family is super important, his wife, and that agreed with, I relate to the fact that he did accomplish something that maybe for him is super like important. It, not to compare with family, it's like in another realm, you know, family, his wife, his children, other relatives and friends. But he did something for himself, not as like, you know, oh wow, he's doing a lot of money. I don't know how much money he's doing with his YouTube channel, but he grabbed the attention of various people, and maybe he's in this limit in where he needs to balance how much he dedicates of himself to YouTube and how much he dedicates to his family. I don't think it should be a matter of you have to choose between one thing or another. Yeah, but I was, you know, watching that and felt like making a video talking about that. And I don't know if I'm going to continue recording these videos. It requires a lot of discipline and persistence, consistency to, you know, make it even when you think no one is watching. Making for your future self as a self recorded thing for yourself in the future, for you to recall this time of your life. But anyways, it takes effort, and not as much as, you know, like a super well edited and produced channel, not in that way. And that's also why I do this kind of videos and not other. I also used to do ASMR. I talked about that in my last video and forgot to link the channel. I will do that. But it takes effort, it takes a lot of willingness, and I'm not sure, because I'm not sure even what I will be doing of my life. You know, I'm going to move from this place I'm renting right now to a more affordable one, I'm driving Uber, which is being stressful because it's an electric car and I'm not able to charge it super easy. And the place that I've been charging it for about now like 4 months or 3 months, I just received a notice today that it's going to be closed. So like the day after tomorrow is the last day of the car there, and I need to find another place for the car. And I'm in debt, a lot of debt, and I will have to move and then leave this place as I found it, which requires stuff to get done on the walls and some other little things. And I'm not saying that I wished to be married. But I am not married, no children, and I'm not saying also that I wanted to have children. I don't know how to care of myself, you know. No. It would, oh my God, it's a lot to take care about. It's a lot to be able to take care of myself and my pets. I have a dog and 2 cats. What I'm trying to say is that I'm doing this all by myself. I have a half brother. He's my brother from the part of my father. We don't get that well along. I have some family members to rely on, but it's not that I'm mostly alone, and there are moments in which I wish I could have someone to share, you know, like the toughness and the goodness of, you know, someone to rely on a daily basis, I guess. Yeah, I guess like a partner. But haven't been able to find that person yet, or maybe I will never find. And yeah, it can happen. It's okay. It's just tough to navigate alone. I have to get out of debt. I have to figure out if I'm going to stay doing Uber. Today it was really difficult, and I was thinking, I need to stop doing this as fast as I can. I need to stop. And I started thinking, I will go back to like freelancing in journalism. I'll go. But at the same time, I remember myself doing that, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just in another moment of life, and maybe I won't be feeling shitty if I go back and try to earn money in my own field, kind of, because driving Uber is not. There are days in which it is, you know, super, super, super almost magical in a way, because you meet a lot of different people, you hear stories, you go to places you wouldn't go if it wasn't for, you know, the rides, and you get to know the city in such a different way you wouldn't get to know your own city, you know, the city you were born in. But there are days in which it's just too hard. And like you are super far from home and you have to cross the entire city, and not like a straight line, but really, really, you know, like doing this to cross the city. And you want to pee so bad, and you want to pee so bad, and you can't because you are with a passenger, and then you have another one, and then another one. And like today, my car really needed to get charged, and I was super afraid of, you know, stopping by some McDonald's or whatever place to use the bathroom and then go back, and because at that point I was already logged off of the platform. I was offline, just going home, and I was still like 25 minutes distant, and I wanted to pee so bad, and I said I'm going to just stop on a McDonald's, but I was afraid to, because I was like around 15% of battery, and as this never happened, I said, oh my god, maybe if I turn this off, and then will it turn on again, or will it, you know, prevent me to go back driving and, you know, like make me find a place to charge. And I wasn't thinking right because I wanted to pee so hard and I haven't had a good night of sleep. I think that was the major problem. I didn't have a good night of sleep because I'm worried. I have the debts. I have to move. I had a messy interaction with my brother asking for money, and it's super difficult doing that. He did help me. I wasn't asking for much, but he did help me, and it had a emotional cost, like always, like usually with him. And I did ask for help. I reached out to a cousin, and he super nice, super adorable, beautiful creature. He didn't, you know, like for a moment say anything that he couldn't, or no, actually, of course I can help you. And I got really, really emotional. I don't know. And then he helped me, and he could, you know, kind of give me this money for me to pay the fine here for living in the apartment. Half the price for the fine, because I'm going to be able to pay it in 2 payments. And it was a really good outcome. He did help me, but I felt, even talking about it, I feel it now. I don't know, a lot of mixed feelings, like what kind of adult I became, or didn't became. And I'm going to turn 45 the day after tomorrow. Today, the last day the car can stay where it is to get charged. And I don't know what I'm going to do. Because today I was thinking I have to quit Uber. I have to quit. But I don't know what to do while I transition. If I am going to transition back to freelancing journalism. I really don't know. And then I was just having a meal and watching the 50 years old Japanese man in the middle crisis, and all the story about his YouTube channel messing with his family. And all of a sudden I thought, oh my god, I'm doing videos inspired by these other guys and girls, women. Page Turner ASMR. She kind of vents, she rambles a lot. I like her. And the YouTube is kind of making their lives, not their lives, it's the Japanese man at the moment, messy. And then I started to think, what's the point? I should stop right now. I don't know. I don't want to. And maybe I just need a good night of sleep. Yeah. And let me know if someone is watching this. It's not easy. I think it's who has like 15 minutes to listen to another lost person in this planet. Yeah, I'm gonna try to have a good night of sleep. Cheers. Peace out. Take care. Bye.